Hallam and Porterfield. Oh, Porterfield has scored.
Blocked by Tommy Wright. Phillips again. And Sunderland have scored.
Hello, so you can probably kind of tell what kind of video this is going to be and where it's finished. Sunderland 0, Swansea 1 in an absolutely abject, poor, lazy and downright not acceptable performance this afternoon at the Stadium of Light. You know, we've made 3 changes today, and in my eyes 3 wrong changes. You know, Hjelde, Alexic and Mjelde dropped out for Roberts, Harrison Jones making his debut and Wilson Isidore. Now, in my eyes, you know, I just didn't say the point. You've given Alexic a start during the week. You've given Mjelde a start during the week. You give Hjelde a start during the week. And you're supposed to be resting players. You know, now, based on that performance today, Dan Neil, Chris Regan, Tommy Watson should be nowhere near the starting lineup at the minute. You know, that's the change we should have made. You should have kept Alexic in midfield. If you're going to bring Roberts in, move Alexic inside in his normal position, and then either drop Rig or Dan Neil. If you want to play Harrison Jones, and you drop in at Rig or Neil again, and then Mjelde moves to the left for Tommy Watson, because Tommy Watson again this afternoon, I've never seen a player look so disinterested, frightened to put a tackle in. And, you know, it was just all over the pitch. It was just absolutely shocking. Now, I am going to give a lot of credit to Swansea, because, you know, Swansea came here in 14th place, like us. You know, now to play for, really, you know, our playoff positions guaranteed. And Swansea came up here with the attitude like you should have. They wanted it more. You know, there was loads of energy, and you couldn't tell at all who was in 14th and who was in 4th place today. So, you know, a fair play to the Swansea players and to the Swansea management for turning up here this afternoon and wanting to win. And that's the difference, because the attitude of our players today was absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. And this has been the case now for weeks and weeks and weeks. The performance against Norwich on Tuesday was not acceptable, and that again today was not acceptable. You know, we could have been a goal down in the first minute. You know, just not tracking our men. Cross comes in the box. They get a shot away. It's not not a good shot, thank God, and Patterson saves it. And from there, that was kind of the pattern of the way the game went. You know, we are so easy to play against, so predictable. We've only got one way of playing. It's side to side to side, back, boot upfield, and then it comes straight back. There's no plan B. Swansea pressed us high. We couldn't get out. Ended up playing the ball long, and it was coming straight back. Time and time again, Wilson Isidore was getting caught offside. Must have been about 4, 5, 6 times today. Not watching the line. Just, you know, not acceptable. You know, just poor play all around. Like I've said, Tommy Watson never got in the game. Didn't want to know. You know, he had a great chance in the first half and looked like he was playing with his Nana's slippers on. You know, a pass back to the goalkeeper when he should be putting his foot through it. In the midfield, Dan Neil, similar to Tuesday, error-laden performance, kept giving the ball away time and time again. Looks miles off the pace and looks shagged out, like I've been saying, like the same as Chris Reed for weeks and weeks. But he still gets a game week in, week out. And we just couldn't break him down. You know, the referee didn't help. You know, referee Farry Hallam was absolutely shocking today as well. Constantly disrupting play and stopping play when it didn't need to be, instead of playing the advantage. So frustrating, so annoying. But our play was so slow. It's just terrible, you know. And we're now sleeping our way into these playoffs. We really are. We're going to end up getting into these playoffs now. We're no momentum. And I really kind see us doing that one, to be honest. If we keep on playing this way, we'll get beat off the 5th or 6th place team. I guarantee it, you know, because we're going to be playing against teams that we're going to be coming up and they're going to have some momentum, because they're going to, like of Bristol City and Coventry, who have had a run into the playoffs. They're in good form. Either of them, and I really fear for us. we're getting at half time 0-0, and to be fair, Swansea deserved to be in the lead because, like I say, they pressed us high. They were the better side. They wanted it more, showed more energy, showed more determination. And you're hoping that at half time we can get a grip of the game maybe. But to be fair, we came out second half and that really changed. It was much the same as the first half. Swansea stopping us from playing, creating more of the chances. And, what more can you say? We made 2 changes on 60 minutes. Lafay came on and Mayenda came on. Chris Rigg went off and Harrison Jones went off. Harrison Jones, not his fault. He's a young lad. He probably looks miles off the first team, to be fair. He looked totally out of his depth. Didn't really get in the game at all. Chris Rigg the same, didn't get in the game at all. Didn't even know he was playing half the time. And that's when we started. When Enzo Lafay came on, that was kind of the changes. But it took for them to score first before we made them changes. Tommy Watson gives the free kick away, dives in on the right hand side. Cross comes in. Harry Darling, I said in the preview video, was a threat. Gets his header, hits the bar, comes back to Cabango. Another threat, like I mentioned on the preview video. Tucks it in. It's 1-0. And from there, there's only one team going to win the game because we'd never looked like scoring all afternoon. Never ever looked like scoring all afternoon. Like I say, we only started showing a bit of urgency when we went to goal behind. And when Lafay came on, we showed a little bit of quality, which we know he's got. And then, 76 minutes, Tommy Watson guns off and Dan Neil went off for Samed and Alexi Chu came on. And they kind of added to the urgency. The only player today that came out with any credit, I thought, was Patty Roberts, who every time he got the ball, he wanted to make things happen. He was trying to get some energy into the side and trying to do things, but he had no support. He had nobody with him, and he just had to drift inside to try and get his shot away, which is blocked 9 times out of 10, or we laid it off and we lost it. Leo Hilda came on 85 minutes, but to be fair, the game had gone then. We never ever looked like getting back in the game. I think we had 1 shot on target today, and it's just absolutely piss poor. And people can see that I'm negative, and we're resting players towards these playoffs. But I'm sorry, but we need to be building momentum towards these playoffs, and we're simply not. We'll look a million miles off it. Like I say, that today, you couldn't tell who was in 4th and who was in 14th. Swansea were the miles better side, thoroughly deserved the 3 points. Good footballing team, was set up correctly. The management team had them at it, and I've got to question our management team and our players for this. The attitude is simply not good enough. I think they're better than what they are, and just drifting towards these playoffs. They're going to get a big shot when they get to these playoffs. They really are. And again, is this a case of since Michael Dodds left, we've come off the rails because we look devout of ideas, we look devout of nous. We look like a team and nothings. We've just got nous. We've got nous about us, and like I say, no plan B. Once they oppressed us high, why have we moved away from that? We started doing that at the start of the season. We've moved away from that, and why? We looked so much better when we were pressing teams high. We've just moved. We're so far away from that team at the start of the season. Player ratings today, like I say, everybody was fucking shocking. Apart from Roberts, Isidore, miles off the pace again. Caught offside, like I've said 4 or 5 times. Never got in the game. To be fair, he was trying to make some runs and we never found him. I've already mentioned Watson, really, really poor. I wouldn't have nowhere near the first time. He doesn't look interested at all. Dan Neil, like I say, looks tired. Needs a rest. Chris Rigg not in the game again. Harrison Jones, well, he wouldn't be in the first team for me. The back 4 probably defended alright. Hume had another decent game at left back, I thought. Alan Brown, again, not his best at right back. Their left winger was keep on torching him. He was getting the better of him time and time again, and he kept giving the ball away as well. Alan Brown. Mepham gets booked for whatever. I don't know what happened with him on the sideline with their player, but we got the free kick, but Mepham got a book him, which I didn't get. Another example of the referee losing the plot and didn't know what he was doing. Swansea should have had a blatant penalty in the second half as well. Luke O'Nien pulling their player back when he's through. I don't know how referees missed it, but it could have been a lot worse than the 1-0. Typical Luke O'Nien liability at times. You know, had stupid fouls and stupid tackles in the wrong places. And all in all, another really, really, really disappointing afternoon at the Stadium of Light. Another really, really poor performance. And like I say, we're now ambling our way to these playoffs. We've now got 2 games on Easter weekend. Bristol City, we'll play them, and they've got something to play for, so we'll probably get beat there. So I'm not looking forward to that game at all, if I'm honest. But you know, the only plus point is we're guaranteed this playoff spot. But like I say, I really kind of see us getting any further. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below on that shit show today. Who was your man of the match? Mine was Roberts by a long shot, head and shoulders above anybody else. Tried to get us in the game and try to get us up the pitch. Just unfortunate the other 10 players around him didn't want to know and just couldn't be asked to run about. But that's it. That's the end of the review. Sorry it's not as upbeat as energetic I would like it to be, but that's just the way the players get you. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I just try to be honest and I just see it as I see it. To sum up the performance, shite. That's all it is. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. Watch out for the match preview coming out for the game against Bristol City on Good Friday. Until then, thanks for watching. Take it easy, stay safe and speak soon. Just before I go, anybody who travelled across for the International Fans Day, apologies you had to watch that shite. I'm guessing some of you have had a really, really long journey and a long day, long travel. Typical Sunderland, just to spoil your day. But anyway, we'll catch you in the next video. Please like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Ta-ra.